بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله وحده والصلاة والسلام على من لا نبي بعده وعلى آله وأصحابه الذين أوفوا عهده الذين هم مفاتيح الرحمة ومصابيح الغرر بعد أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم يا أيها الذين آمنوا كتب عليكم الصيام كما كتب على الذين من قبلكم لعلكم تتقون أياما معدودات صدق الله العظيم. Honorable ulama kiram, respected elders and brothers, really this is a month of Quran, and our bayanat, advices, muzakara are a means to an end. So rather than spending too much time in delivering bayan and listening to bayan, we see the attitude of our ulamas, our Salafus Salihin, our pious predecessors, that they would even leave the dars of ahadith in the month of Ramadan to engage in the tilawat of the Quran. So I will try and keep to very strict timing, inshallah, to try and finish by just after 5:15. So then you have time to carry on with your recitation of the Quran and engaging in dua. Also, before I commence, I would like to take this opportunity to thank Maulana Imtiaz Sahab and Maulana Huzaifa Sahab to, taw'an aw karha, forcing me to be here again. It is an honor to be with you, not that I don't want to be with the Broadgate community. Used to be quite a regular many years back. The last time, I think, when we were raising funds for this masjid and Marhum Farooq Bhai was there, I think that was the last time I attended. But it is a great privilege and honor to be amongst friends. Anyway, we will hear many bayanats, many programs, many advices from many scholars, and weekly, daily basis we hear from our respected imams. What I would like to mention is about, when we talk about the virtues of Sha'ban and Ramadan and the infinite mercy and the blessing that shower upon us, it is about our attitude towards it. Our attitude towards it. When we were at school, the teachers normally say to us, I can only do so much for you. Yeah, Ibrahim? If you've got a student like myself, they will say, I can only do so much for you. I can only take you to the well. I can't make you drink. Meaning that you've got to have the right attitude to benefit from the opportunities that are being given to you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, from the month of Rajab and Sha'ban, starts directing us towards the month of Ramadan to say, get the right attitude. Otherwise, these times will come and go. And Allah in the verse, Ayyamam ma'dudat. You got some very limited and restricted time to take advantage. Don't be laxy in your approach. Otherwise, this time will come and go, and in a blink of an eye, you will be celebrating Eid. And only thing that we will be left doing is regretting the opportunity that we had. So on the first of Ramadan, I just wanted to talk about what our attitude should be. Let's embrace this opportunity with some positive attitude. Some positive attitude. Maybe to understand this attitude, it's like the businessmen and entrepreneurs and our proper desi individuals. What they would do is look for the right approach and right moment. They are always, before that opportunity comes, they are alert and scanning the horizons for opportunities. Yeah. Those people, they say about Masjide-E-SALIHEEN, is a masjid of activists. Yeah? So, let me try and give you an example. Before the US election, as the campaign was going on, those, shrewd business individuals were not interested in the elections. They were interested in making money. So what did they do? They started tracking cryptocurrencies, because you had Trump and his best mate, Mr. Musk. So they were tracking cryptocurrency, and they thought, Trump is heading for the White House, and Elon Musk is also heading for the White House. And what that would do to the Bitcoin, and remember, I'm not here to give you any mas'ala, you can refer the masail to your imams. That cryptocurrency, they're monitoring that, and it was already on the upward trend. And as soon as Trump and Elon Musk took the office, it shot up. And people overnight made millions. And if there are people like me that would say, oh, Masab, is Bitcoin okay? And Masab says it's okay. Now I will go on, because Masab, people are making millions. By the time I get to the door, it's already either dropping or plateauing. So then you don't make any money. Yeah. Even in adverse conditions, people will make money. We went through the COVID era, and people made millions on what? PPE. Yeah? Everybody's getting into lockdown and crying about how am I going to make money? And those shrewd individuals, a voro is a voro, make money out of anything and any condition. So then they thought, this is a great opportunity to make money in PPE. They got it, sold it, made their money, and in the end had, containers of stock at the end. Even that went to waste, that didn't bother them. Why? They had made their money. Okay, message. Hope it's not me. With my eyesight, I'm not going to be able to do well. Is MF63 CD7. Okay, that would have been much easier. So if it's anybody from here, please can you just put it somewhere else? Okay. So in an adverse condition, they still made their money through PPE. It's about being alert and having the right attitude so that when the opportunity arises, you can take advantage. The Prophet ﷺ, through Rajab and Sha'ban, is trying to inform us, get your attitude right, so that when the month of Ramadan comes, you are able to take full advantage of the month of Ramadan. Now I thought, this is the only message I wanted to share with you. Have the right attitude, so that at the end of Ramadan, when we celebrate Eid, we are not sat there regretting the opportunity that came and bypassed us. When we see in the life of the Sahaba, they had that attitude. They were always eager to take advantage of the opportunity that came. You may have heard of a name of a Sahabiya, Haram. Haram, radiyallahu ta'ala anha. A great Sahabiya. She's an aunt of Hazrat Anas ibn Malik radiyallahu ta'ala anhu, and sister of Sulaim. And also, they say that she was the aunt of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam through nursing. And the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam would quite frequently visit Sulaym radiallahu ta'ala anha and Haram. So one day, he went to visit Haram radiallahu ta'ala anha. And she prepared food for the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Just on the point of Haram, her husband and her son were martyred at the time of Uhud. And Haram, the mother of Haram, she didn't have a son called Haram. Haram was her younger sibling, younger brother. So she lost her husband and a son in Battle of Uhud. 4 months later, Hazrat Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu, who was one of the Qurras of the Sahaba, and you may have heard of the incident of Bir Ma'una, where the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam sent 70 Qurra at a request of a community to go there and preach them. On the way, they really was a plot against the Muslim, and on the way 70 Qurra were martyred, and Hazrat Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu was one of them. So Haram radiallahu ta'ala anha had lost the husband, son, and now younger brother, all in the space of 4 months. Anyway, to provide them that support, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam created close bond with them. And Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu now prepared the meal. Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when the meal was prepared, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam came, ate, and then the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wanted to rest a little. So in resting, the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam had put his head into the lap of Haram radiallahu ta'ala anha. And she is going through the hair of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam and taking out lices, just checking that there's no lice in it, as the practice of the elderly woman used to be. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam is lying there, and she is going through the hair, and the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam falls asleep. And then all of a sudden, istayqadha wa huwa yudhik. The Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam wakes up with a big smile on his face. So Haram radiallahu ta'ala anha asked the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam that ma yudhiku, what made you smile? So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam said that in my dream I saw this group of people crossing water in ship. Now these are people living in deserts. Yeah? They would, to see water would be a great blessing. Now the Prophet ﷺ is saying that I see a group of people that will cross the water for jihad fi sabilillah, and they are from the Jannati. Haram radiallahu ta'ala anha heard this, an opportunity in front of her. She says, Ya Rasulullah, ud'ullah an yaj'alani minhum. O Prophet of Allah, make dua for me that Allah makes me from those people. The Prophet ﷺ said, you are from them. And then fell back asleep. Again with a smile, wakes up a little while later, and they have the same conversation, and the Prophet ﷺ said, there will be another group that will also travel like this, and they will be sitting on the boats like king on their thrones, like the first group, and they will also enter Jannah. And Haram put the same request again, and the Prophet ﷺ said, you're from the first group. Anyway, this happened in the time of the Prophet ﷺ. Now she's looking forward. The Prophet ﷺ has said it is going to happen. Khilafah of Hazrat Abu Bakr happened. Hazrat Umar happened. And in the time of Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu, in the battles against Byzantines, they got all these ships. Now, Hazrat Umar radiallahu ta'ala anhu said, just park this on the shores. We're not going to send our army on the water. We've never done this. You come to our land, we will fight. So they would come from Cyprus and attack the Muslims. They would fight on land, but not go on water. In the time of Hazrat Uthman radiallahu ta'ala anhu, on the request of Hazrat Muawiyah radiallahu ta'ala anhu, he allowed the first navy to be put together. And now, Hazrat Haram had remarried with Ubadah bin Samit radiallahu ta'ala anhu. And under his leadership, Hazrat Muawiyah made the first navy. They got onto the boat, and Ubadah bin Samit, as he's the general, Haram said, you're not going alone, I'm coming with you. Stepped onto the boat, went across to Cyprus, and remember they were going to fight on land, so they take all the animals with them. Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu at this age now is 75 years old. She goes across to Cyprus, and as they embark, and now is come to the shore, she gets onto her horse to get off the boat onto the land. As she's got onto the land, she gets thrown off the horse and falls and passes away there. And her grave is now made in Cyprus. The point I wanted to make is Haram radiallahu ta'ala anhu, when she was faced with an opportunity straight away, she says to the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, "Ud'ullah an yaj'alani minhum." Pray to Allah, Allah gives me that opportunity and makes me from those people that will cross, fight in your path, and enter Jannah. We have been given Ramadan. This is our opportunity. Our opportunity to rise and shine in front of Allah. Rise and shine in front of Allah. So how can we stand up and rise and shine in front of Allah? We can do those things that other people are not doing. We can do those things other people are not doing. In one hadith, the Prophet ﷺ says, Sumu bil-layli wan-nasu niyam. When people are sleeping, but at that time you get up and engage in front of me. Stand in qiyam in front of me. So when other people are sleeping, you take advantage and stand in front of me. So firstly, to shine in front of Allah is to do those things what other people are not doing. Alternatively, to do more of those things what other people are doing. To do more of those things what other people are doing. So everybody's reading 5 times salah and sunan. Why don't we engage in nawafil? After Maghrib, everybody will be running towards iftar. Take this opportunity to read awabin. All throughout the year, we don't get the opportunity. Ramadan is the time. 5 minutes, 7 minutes, read your awabin and then go home. So do more of those things what other people are doing. We've come to 5:15. So we're on schedule. Last 2-3 points, also about refraining from sin. Fasting, definition is al-imsak, is to refrain. Really from food, drink, and relationship. But also the greatest act we can do, if we don't do more ibadat, the thing we need to do is at least refrain from sins. Like the reward increases in Ramadan, the wabal and the burden also increases. So if we can't gain something, at least let's refrain from losses. So away from sins. You know, when we were growing up, I don't know if it's still the culture. I don't think it is. Our parents would get a cloth and give parda to the TV. Yeah? And until Eid, nobody would move it. at least let's refrain from sin. Also, about punctuality, about salah. If zakat is forced on us, contact our imams, learn the masail, and fulfill our zakat. And the most importantly, as I said, this month is the month of Quran and dua. So all the time, every opportunity you get, either you should be engaged in, after refraining from sins, either engage in tilawat of the Quran or turning to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, asking for ourselves and for the whole of the ummah. Wa akhiru da'wana and alhamdulillahi rabbil alameen. Subhanallah wa bihamdihi.